Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
Able to see my screen?
Yes, Samir.
So you are able to like how cluster got created, all these things you have idea about that, right? No questions on that, right? You guys tried that?
Yes, Samir.
So if you see, this is just to understand the concept. If you see a cluster now, there is a cost associated with 0.75 review per hour. So based on your selection, so the policy unrestricted, single node, I've selected 12.2 LCS. So whatever I've selected, based on that 0.75 is the review cost. And I'll come to that. So whatever you select, if it's the multi-node, selected something else, so all depends upon your cost. So basically, this is sometimes they will ask in the interview. Okay. That is, it's like the Databricks cost. Databricks. How actually? This is just for a theory because in a real time we don't bother about the cost how it is getting calculated, but you should understand. The first one is the DB, Databricks units. DB means database units. Okay. So here the first when you talking about the cluster, first is number of DB. In a sense, how many number of units you are consuming into your workload. Okay, equals to this is the review cost. So the how much number of reviews you have 0.75 into the workload. Workload in the sense workload exactly what? Okay. So workload means whether you are creating a all-purpose cluster or you are creating a job cluster, you are creating a what kind of cluster. Depend upon that will be defined the your work. So multiple factors are there. So the workload in the sense first the types of cluster, what you are exactly you are selecting there. Second is that the tier. Whether you are on a premium or in a standard, right? The subscription. No. When you are creating the database account, no, you are selecting premium or standard or whatever you are selecting, right? So based on that also your workload will be different. Third is the VM type. You are selecting this one, right? This 12 point LTS, 13 point LTS, all these things you are selecting, right? So based on that also your workload will be. Fourth one will be your purchase, whether it's a free page to go, whatever may be. So based on all these factors, your workload will be getting calculated and it will be number of DBU into this particular DBU. Okay, making sense? Now, this is the first one. Any questions?
Samir, higher means premium or standards depending upon the price that you pay for the account. So what would be the
So when you are creating the database from here, no, you're
yeah.
selecting tier, right? Premium or that one, right? So
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you, sir.
this is the DBU cost. Second factor, suppose you are selecting here, you are selecting single node. Okay, that is fine. If suppose let's take normally in real time it will be all will be the multi. There will be never it will be a single. So all will be the multi node. So multi node in the sense there will be a main primary node, then all the child nodes will be there, right? So that could be 4, that could be 6, that could be 9, depends upon your load you are selecting. Okay. So that also the price will come into existence. Okay. So the first one is the one driver, there will be one driver. So multi node into the price of the VM. The one which you are creating, the cluster, right? That's a VM. It's a virtual machine, right? So that price also included. The first one, the driver node one. Okay. So that is called your driver node cost. And when you are on a multi-node, then you need to select the number of workers as well. So suppose you have a 3-node cluster, suppose you have a 4-node cluster. So it depends the number of workers node into the price of them. And both are different actually. Okay? I'm not going deeper how much the price and all, but just to overall and high level you to understand that this is the way worker node cost. So when I'm talking about the database cost, it includes the view cost plus driver node cost plus your worker node cost. So how much it will be? summation of this is called a database cost. That's you chargeable for when you are creating the compute. Okay, and how much time you are running. So all these factors will come into existence, and again, this DBU cost will be depending based on the like your subscription, right? So you are on a page you go, and you are selecting the region as, let's say, in my case, it was on South India. Your case is something else will be there. So it depends upon all the factors. Finally, your database cost will be calculated. But in the overall, on a high level, you can say the workload, the driver node cost, and the worker node cost. It's a combination of everything. This goes to the database cost. Make sense? Is it making sense to you?
Do we need to know all these calculations, Samir?
No, no, not really.
Okay. This is part of administration, right?
I can give you a small example as well. So if you want. So let's say try to understand the single node. Single node for 0, which is coming from 0.75 dB per hour. So let's say, first I need to calculate the dB cost. So let's say in this case, 0.75. And normally what I'm selecting, like 1.2 LTS, a single user, standard DS2V2, all these things. Based on this selection, actually the workload will come around 0.55. Okay, rough I'm taking. It is like somewhere around how much? I'm not that genius, right? 0.7 to 0.55. How much?
0.4125.
Oh, you are genius. Immediately
No,
we
I use
calculate
the
all.
calculator.
Okay. So now I have here in this case I have a single node, right? So there will be no multi-node, right? So the third point will not come with the existence. So I have only one. So the price of the normal price of the VM 7351. So I remember. So it will be like 0.3510. Okay. So if you sum this up, okay, this will be the purchase per hour. So somewhere around 0.7635 per hour. You'll get the price per hour. Now you can just think like, okay, so this is the price per hour. How much hour you are using it, you will get that price. Make sense?
Yes.
No. And the question was whether we need to know the cost calculation. I don't think so. Because in industry, we don't bother about that much of cost. Yes, there will be a cost control mechanism will be there, but that will you will be not part of it because you are not at like, higher level. Might be some report will be running or something. You can do that, or we can do one thing here as well. It's to control the cost as per our local things, right? So we can do that something like you can go to in the your Azure right search for the cost management, and here there is a cost analysis, there is a cost alert, everything is there. So there is no cost alert right now for me. You can see the cost analysis as well as how you are spending the amount, or we can see click on the budgets. Really, you need to click on the budgets and click on the ad, and you can create a alert for this. Okay, so depends upon how much you want to do that. I will do it, but you need to give a name here, something like let's say cost alerts. Okay. So let's say billing amount. So let's take month wise. I'm saying. So today is 6th of let's say it started on 6th of which is 15th August today, right? Okay, let's the billing cycle is like that. So it is calculated for 6th August to let's say I have to do a 2 years window. And amount is still my amount is on Indian rupees. Okay. So whatever the amount it will come, that we need to put. So let's say I want to make it as a budget of 3,500. So whenever there is a 3,500 rupees for me, okay, then I will get an alert saying that your boss, your or the alerts you have, you are just about to reach that. Okay, that's the one I created. Next, then here the percentage is that alert condition is something like we have given a 3,500 rupees, but I want my alerts just before to that as well. Just when it crosses 90%. So I'll say actual, actual one when it reach 90%. This is like when it becomes 3150, then I want to this one Excel group. Here we can create a group as well and we can send it to them, Excel group. But right now I don't have any group here, so it is not allowing me to send it. But you can send it to your email as well, the group. I'll show you where to create the group here. But instead of that, you can put your email directly. Suppose I'm putting my email here. That unique. Oh, so default I'm taking the language. Hopefully I can create it. I don't know. Okay. So one is enough here. And language I can take default or you can select English. Okay. Now create this. So it will just validate it and it will create a budget alert for you. Okay. So this is a cost alert we created. It will go for a like 2 years month. This is you should do it as well. Okay. So that you will be on a first control on it. Make sense?
For trial also we need to do this, Samir.
Mm. But I just show you that this is the way
Okay.
you can control your cost. Okay.
Okay,
It's
got it.
not yeah, and it will just alert. So this is one way to do it. And this is uh, uh, in a real time also
So,
need to do it. Okay. So the company
Samir,
wise they should go ahead.
sorry, for the trial, right? They say like cost for the $200. So after the $200, it will automatically charge, or it will be even though in the trial period.
See, $200 will be like way too much. It will not come. It will not finish immediately. Second thing is,
Okay.
once it is
Okay.
cover up also,
Mm.
it will send out an email to your email saying that
Okay.
like boss, your trial is getting expired. Would you want to go
Mm.
with the paid version? If you are not,
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
It is not. It is not directly charging.
Well, Samir, but they mention it's for 30 days only $200. So
Hmm.
after 30 days, it should be cost. So within
Yeah.
30 days, we have to use the 200. Yeah.
How you
So
will
how?
use it $200? Whatever
Yeah, that's
services
why
you will
I'm.
use, no, whatever services you use, if it is under 200, is fine. Beyond 200, you ask me for. So we are using Databricks, I think it will be get covered up from there.
Okay, so after that, it will be pay. We have to pay in that free trial. They mentioned that for 1 month 200. After 1 year, it will be free. But how it works?
That's what I'm saying. After your free trial expired or $200 expired, then it will send out an email to you saying that this free trial got expired. And if you want to continue, then you can continue. You can put your credit card, debit card, whatever may be, and you can continue from there. Otherwise, the subscription will be
Okay.
ended. That's it.
Okay, Samir.
Okay. Okay. So this is the way. Now let's try and understand one more topic that is called the cluster pool. Okay. So when I'm looking at computing, so there is an option called pools. Okay. And I think these pools will come in a premium tier only. I think for your standard, whatever you're saying in database, this option will be not available. And that is fine. Okay. If it is not coming, this is well and good. Just see my screen. That's what I register as a premium. Because you should know all the details, like what are the availability when you get into a system in a real time. Okay. So just can somebody confirm as well? These pools and policies will be not there in a normal database. If you're selecting the standard one. If you're selecting the premium, this two will come in. Am I right? Am I right on that? Or it is coming as well for you?
Checking, Samir.
Oh, checking.
Not finding the pool, Samir.
Yeah, policies also will be not there, right? Even policies also is not there on this one. The pools and the policies. These two options is not there, correct? You are seeing my screen?
Yes, Samir, we can see.
Yeah, on my screen, I'm saying the pools and the policies, the last two tabs, is not there on your subscription. Right? How much time it is taking to confirm that one? Did you guys not created yet a database account?
Yeah, it is not there, Samir. Pools and policies are not there.
Right. So the pools and policies will come in the premium because I have selected the premium tab while creating the Databricks. So that's what I'm getting it. So is it fine? Okay. Don't worry if it is there or not there. So we just see that how I am creating the pools and what is the use of pools and what is the use of policies. Okay. Let's see the first pool. So normally what is pools exactly? When you are creating the compute, right, and you are giving all the details, right, while creating the storage, compute storage, you are creating all the details. And it is taking like 5 minutes, sometimes it's taking 6 minutes to start up your the compute. Correct? So to make it faster, the cluster creation, we'll use the pool concept. So if you put the pool, even I also will delete this because it will be chargeable more. So what I will do, I will create a pool here first. Okay. I'll create a pool here. I will say demo F1 pool. And I'm giving ideal instances is one, maximum let's say three. What I'm saying it is there, create a pool of cluster of 1 to 3, and out of that one will be always available. And based on the requirement, the second and third will be attached to the cluster. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Now I can say this one is terminated by after 20 minutes. Standard DS3 V2. Is there any? Yeah, I will select 1.2 LTS. I'm not selecting anything. So I will create the pool. So this pool is a, you can say the pool is a cluster, number of cluster available. But first time, the first cluster will be always available. There will be no terminated instance for 20 minutes. It will be applied for the next instances, like the second one, third one, fourth one. That will be terminated after 20 minutes. Okay. So in this way, you can create a pool here. And once pool got created, let's wait for that. When it is getting created. So here if you say use 0, ideal 0, maximum capacity of 3, everything is there. Okay. So we have created a pool of cluster. Okay. That is available, and from there we can attach to the cluster. In this way, your cluster creation will be faster because uh, the pool is already there. If something is there, just you need to use it. Okay? Rather than while creating the compute, we are creating the cluster type, this type, that type, all these things, and we are it is taking much time. So let's go to now your compute storage here. The pool got created. Now, when I'm creating the compute here, going for a single mode, all these things. Let's understand this. Where you can select your pool here. Okay. So the pool will be selected here. If you see here, the node type. Normally we are selecting DS3 B2. But instead of that, once you get the pool, you can have a choice to create the cluster out of the pool. So you can select demo pool. Okay. You can say it will be terminated after 20 minutes. Okay. Then
Samir, so I have a question. Like terminate here after 20 minutes that we are mentioning. In real
this
time also,
cluster.
do we need to mention anything? how many minutes we usually keep it?
In a real time, we don't have an access to create the cluster as well sometimes.
Okay, no, even for the view also, display view also, that can't we see how many minutes of inactivity will be there, or will it not at all inactive?
Sometimes it will be non-activated and sometimes it will be available. And in a production environment, there will be no downtime, there will be no termination. Maybe in a development environment, you can set it up for like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. But in a production, there will be no termination. It will be always it.
Okay, thank you.
So now we have selected the node type base instead of selecting the standard and all, we are selecting the demo pool which you created. Okay. Now create the compute here. It will take comparatively the less time compared to normal cluster. That is the objective behind creating the pool. Okay. And in the pool, you can assign the number of cluster. Let's it create, but ideally, normal cluster, how much time it is taking, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. When you create the cluster using your pool, it will be like half of that. That's what it is all about. Okay, making sense how the pool works? Simple, right?
Yes, Samir. Like the
Yeah,
pool is a collection of clusters, right? Can we
correct.
say in that
Pool
way?
is a pool is a collection of cluster, and there will be one ideal cluster, and all are will the silos. Okay, and the ideal cluster will be attached. The silos will work when it is required. That's the way. Make sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and we discussed in the notepad like one thing
Hmm?
regarding this driver node, right? So
Sorry.
is there any way that driver node?
Ha. The first node will be the always active node. The silos node or the non-active node will be available. That's in this case we have selected three, right? So the three will be there, and whenever it is required, it will be automatically attached to the cluster based on the process. Okay, now see, this cluster got created in I think 2 minutes only. But normally, when you start creating that, it will take at least 5 to 6 minutes to start. Great. So that's what the pool is all about. Okay, making sense? Is that making sense? Right? So I'm just deleting this. I'm not required this cluster. Even I'm deleting the pool as well. I don't require the pool. You understand the pool? Okay. Now start discussing about the policies, which is again on a premium tier node, but you should understand the policies as well. Any questions, guys, up to here? Do you have
No,
any
from my.
questions? Now let's try to create a compute. And here we are selecting the policies, right? Normally we are selecting the unrestricted. But if you click on the drop down, there are some 4, 5 policies are there. One personal compute, power user compute, legacy set compute, all these things. So based on that, suppose you are selecting personal compute. So normally some selection is coming, right? It is asking single user access. Now when you select the policies at personal compute, it is never asking that whether it is a single node or multi-node, right? See here, if you see unrestricted, it's saying that multi-node, single node, single user, all this option is coming. But when you select the personal compute, it's saying that there is nothing, no selection. This is already defined. We'll go for a single node only, right? So what will happen is sometimes when you have a, let's say, on a user perspective, what Anita was asking that question. So one time is that the cluster creation will be restricted you. So maybe the admin will create the cluster for you and it will give it back to you. Or suppose you are a viewer, suppose you are a developer, okay, and you have the luxury to create a cluster. Here the point is when you are creating the cluster, how you will understand that which selection I will. This is I'm selecting. Okay, I'm saying that okay, I will not go for the policy. I'll go for a single node. I will select this runtime 12.2 LTS. I will not go for the Fortran. I will select DS3 V2. That because I am creating, I decided myself. Okay, these are the options I will choose and I will create my computer. But think like in real time, there are some setup criteria will be there, right? I will select multi-node. The performance runtime, database runtime should run on this version only, and we should select the Fortran installation, whatever may be, right? Should have that. So that time how an end user when or the developer who is creating the cluster, he should understand that okay, these are the things I should select. Complicated, right? From if I select like this. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Uh, you are getting my
Yes.
point, what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So rather than that, giving all the options to the developer, why can't you put the things which is required for me and rest of the things either I think we can hide it or if it is there as well, I don't want the user to be edit that some option. Let's say my company has decided on the performance database runtime version. Let's go. They want to go for 13 point. So when somebody come as a database developer, either this option will be disabled for the user, or if it is there also, it will be on a read only. He can't edit that, at least this parameter. So in that way, we can have a more control we can give to the customer. Okay, am I making sense? What I'm trying to say here, is it making sense? What I'm showed in like in the sense theoretical wise, what I've done. You understand that? Is it making sense, guys?
Samir, would you repeat with respect to the developer, how is it affecting?
Huh. So let's take you are a developer, Jaya, and you come and somebody asks in your team, and you are new there, and they ask you to create a cluster. Okay, you come here and start compute and create a cluster. Now you can need to ask them, okay, what policy I will select, whether it will be single or multi-node, it will be a
Okay.
single user or something. Then what runtime I will select. All these things I need to ask. Without that, it's impossible to create because I don't know the organization, right? What they are using it. It's making sense. Now, instead of that, if somebody in the organization restricting something for you, in the sense, if I select a policy, something like this, see, if you click on the personal compute, automatically few options are gone.
Yes.
I have don't have access at all. So only few things I need to select. So like that control I want to give to the customer, right? Or the developer. They should not be worried about what exactly it is all about. Okay. So they will select some few things, they will go for the directly customization. Rather than thinking about the each parameter what I need to, right?
Got it.
So that's the so that is all about the policies. And that we can control through the policies only. Okay. So let's understand the policies. So here what happened is, let me duplicate this tab and so that I can work parallelly on the policies as well. Okay. So now what I will do, I will go for the compute, I will go to the policies. So there are some add compute also. Okay, maybe. Okay, no fine. So I have some couple of clusters are there. Sorry, policies are there. Let me create a policy. A policy. And the policy name which I'm giving is like let that practice policy. And just creating a policy. Now, in this one, I can rewrite the existing policy or I can create my custom policy as well. Okay, custom policy means we need to write your own policy and existing policy means we can whatever the existing policy we have, that one I can override as well. Okay, making sense? So let's say create the custom policy, and when you write the custom policy, that is in the form of JSON format, or you can say in the form of a dictionary format. Okay, so how the dictionary works, like that you need to write it, and we can give after that we can give the permission as well. So which group will be access what, all this permission we can do that. So based on that we can restrict that the cluster also to certain groups as well. Okay, this is the advantage of your policy. Am I good here up to here? Now I'll tell you how to write the statement here. Very good as of now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now you can have a link here as well. How to define a policy? It will go to the Azure documentation, and there you can follow it. No need to remember by heart that how to write it. You can just click on this and there are so many policies definitions will be there. How to create your policy documentation, all these things will be there. So whichever is required, there are bunch of policies are there. One is fixed, one is forbidden, allow list, all these things. If you see the fixed policy, there are something is there. So fixed. Suppose you want to restrict your Spark version to the whichever is the LTS. It means this one. So let's say when I'm selecting this LTS, right? 12.2 LTS I'm selecting always. So what I'm trying to select is it should select the latest LTS Spark version when I'm selecting my policy. So that we can do to this parameter type fixed. Okay, let me copy this and I will write them. Or I'm not copying. Let me write this. So it will be something like this. I think it should be writable because I know that that's what I'm planning to copy. But you can take a look and you write your own version so that you will be familiar with the code. Okay. So I will say Spark and will be double quotes. Okay. So say Spark hyphen version is the one. Then we will put a colon here. Then I will write another two copy braces here. Okay. Then I will say double quote type. Then colon. I will say fixed comma uh, value. Okay. And here, if you see, go to the cluster here. They are saying Spark version and type equals to fix, and they are saying the value equals to auto latest in ML. So it is saying that it will be selected the latest ML version, whatever you have. That is the example he is given it. Okay, it means it will be consist of the ML one, whatever the latest will be there, it will get selected for that. But in our case, we want to select the standard and the LTS, current LTS. So for that, what I need to do, I need to select the value equals to auto, auto, then column here, I'll say latest hyphen ls. This is the way you can write Spark underscore version. Sorry, not hyphen. Okay. Now what I have done, I have written a simple code where I am restricting for the practice policy. I think the Spark version should be your auto latest. Okay. Any questions up to here? Are you good? I'm there. You guys
Yes.
are there? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Yes,
create
sir.
it. Huh? Now create this. Now my policy got created. Practice policy. Now let's refresh this by creating the cluster. And I should get now, if I drop down the policy, I should get another policy called practice policy, which I created. Now if I select the practice policy and confirm it, automatically my runtime is 12.2 LTS Scala and it is not allowing the user to edit as that I selected it, and this will be the read only mode. I will not allow user to edit anything. By that you can understand that okay, I am using on my current organization I am using 12.2. It makes sense? It makes
Samir,
sense.
like in the Databricks runtime version, if you just click on another one instead of this practice policy,
You will get it.
if you just go unrestricted one, right, it was showing like 13.2, right? Compared to 12,
Yes,
13 will be the latest one, right? Then why it was showing 12.2 as the latest?
I have selected this one. I have
No, no,
changed
no.
it.
No, what I'm asking is usually 13.3 LTS beta is the latest version, right? Compared to 12,
Ye-
13 is the latest version, right? How could you know?
Yes, yes. But beta version don't go for the beta. Second thing is the 13.2 are the normal version rather than the LTS. So always we will go for the LTS version. Whatever the LTS latest, you go for, because that is well and tested actually. The Spark function normally we use. That's the
Okay, like our SQL statement, if you just give a select statement, it is used to display, right, show the output. But here we can't see it because the place where we have written a code, right, asking like automatically it is creating. What I mean to say is like whenever we are creating that one cluster, it was showing here. We don't know until it was displaying here. Is there any other way to check it out? Because 12.2 or 12.3, what was the latest version that they are using it?
That's what I'm
Did
saying.
you get my question? Okay.
So I got it. That's what we are creating the policies, right? Suppose you are creating, you will not use these policies. Suppose you have a like access to create the cluster, then organization will create some policies for you. So let's take this is your policy. If you select the policy, and they will define few pointers. In this pointer, I
Okay.
have defined that my Spark function should run on the auto LTS. So there's 12 point. And I have no choice to edit as well. So I need to be on that. So okay, my organization decided that the Spark function would be this one, and I will run. That's what I'm making
And one
sense
more
now.
thing, like, yeah, a pool and cluster, both we need to do it, or that's also a part of administration. Cluster, I understood, but the pool and policies, these two topics, that are we doing it as part of the developer, or this is also part of an administration?
Pool policies 50-50, I can say. If you are working on a like a startup company, small companies, and then you have all the access. You need to create everything because you are the admin, you are the developer. But even a
Okay, understood.
large org,
Got it. Thank
Yeah,
this
Samir.
is the done.
Samir, I got my subscription. I give reactive, so I got it back. Yeah, thank you, Samir.
Oh, now this is the way you can create a new policy. Now, this is the I showed you how to create a new policy and how you can write the code there. You can just reuse it. Another one, suppose if I selected the personal company, which is the existing one. That's not the custom one, right? And if you select it here, if you see when you're selecting the personal compute, it is getting by default, it is terminated after 4320 minutes, right? It's a default determinant. So that I want to, let's take, I want to edit it somehow. Then how I can do, okay? So for that, what I will do here that, let's delete this policy, don't require. And I can create a new policy here. First of all, I will let's go to the personal compute here, and you will see the code, what exactly the personal compute is doing. From here also you can do it. This is all the things it is doing it. Okay, this is the code actually, and that's why it is coming up. So now what I will do, I will copy this area. This is the code which is coming for this 4320 minutes for the personal compute. Copy this, and what I will do now, I will create a policy. Say personal compute them. Okay? And instead of that custom policy, I can select the policy which you want to override. Overriding and creating a new one. We will not able to override the existing one. Rather than we can take the code of the existing one and we can create a new one as well. Okay? Selecting the personal computing. Are you getting this one? Yes. What I'm trying to say here. Is it making sense to you? Are you good? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Now on this one, I can click on the edit and I can write whatever I copied. Instead of the 4320, I'm saying it will be 20. Okay. And let's copy this from here as well. So, so I will say instead of this, I will say 20. Mm, 1 second. Huh? It is not overriding. It's not. One second, let me get again. Oh, in between. Okay. Now I will say this is now put okay. Now if you see here, the existing one will create a new one, and now it is default value 20. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to create this policy created. Now when you refresh this, you can select instead of the personal compute and select the personal compute demo as well. Okay. Now when you click the personal compute demo, automatically your termination will be automatically set as 20 minutes. Okay. Are you good on this approach? Are you good?
Yes, Samir.
So I have one actually one cluster concept is there. Okay. So we can I will give this file. We can create our own cluster as well like this. So this is Control C. I'm creating a new cluster out of this. So this code I will give you. So, but anyway, you will not able to do it, but you can keep it there. The policies are always under your select delete this. So it's not required. Now I am creating a policy and I'm saying project practice. Okay, and I'm creating a custom policy here and I'm giving this. So whatever I have selected, so you just need to copy paste it. Okay, no need to do it. So this is the way, and I'm creating a policy called project practice. So now when I am creating a compute here, so go to compute, just this page, and when I'm creating a compute here, I will have a policy called project practice. Okay, so if I select the project practice now, I've given so many steps there. Now this is the way it is there. Okay, see, I have automatically hide the single node, multi-node. Just I need to select the access mode, whether it will be single node or this here, and I have a choice to select whether I will go for a standard distribution or this one or this one or this one. You only I restricted this. This is good actually because when I'm creating the cluster, I should have at least a minimum of the things I should select. Other than that, restrictions I should hide it or I should not use it as well. Okay, is it making sense to you? So silent, what happened?
Yes, Samir. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so this is the way you can create your policies. Making sense. Okay, that's good. Now let's try and understand. Now we have created our things.
Samir,
Now let's go forward.
in our job profile, will we be doing the policy creation and coding on that?
Yes, I can say yes. Why?
Okay.
Because in not in a real environment where you are developing the development or UAT or production, but rather than let's take you are planning to do a proof of concept with the POCs. Let's say you are working on some topic and you want to create a cluster, you want to create a policy. Then yes, that can be.
Because we are not going to create clusters, is what initially you had mentioned. So I had asked if we are not
Yes,
creating
that's
a
correct.
cluster.
That's correct. So when in the real time, when you are working in a real environment, you will not have sometimes there should be no creation on your part, and even policies also. But when let's think you are working on a proof of concept, I'm saying the POCs. POC, you understand? Like you want to do give a demo to a client, and you have
Okay.
a 15 days to work on a database, certain topics, and that time you want to create your own cluster, you want to provide the policies, and because on the policies level only you are providing the accesses, the
Okay.
permissions, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that time yes, integrated, and you can follow this link to anything, whatever the coding you have. Don't need to remember by heart. You can check it out this. And based on that, you can create your own policy. Okay.
But this
And this
again, we'll get it only when we pay it, right?
in
How
real
to
time,
write?
everything will be in real
Yeah,
time.
but
Everything
in
is created.
general, if we have to study now,
No, no,
how
there
to?
is no right now. Right now, just follow along. No need to.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so this is the way. Now, let's try and understand these policies as well. I will forget sometimes. We don't require as the policies normal environment. This is because we are practicing at whatever. So now in the workspace, when you go to the workspace here, I want you to create some particular folders. So in the workspace, we have a saved and just put it on. Now what do you need to do? You need to create an add and create a folder on the workspace. So here I will see because this is I will start the project slowly. So let's take data weeks. I'm just creating a folder called database project. You can take anything, doesn't matter. But we need to create a folder. It should be under the workspace. Okay? It will be under the workspace. Okay? Got it? Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So under that, let's create a notebook for a just to start the practice. Then I will create the multiple folder structure on a project. How actually the real time works. And then we'll start. So let's create a notebook. So I don't have cluster as well. Sorry for that. Let me create a cluster. I just deleted that. Database project practice. Okay, so I'm going for a single node. One is not required. Data. Let's take 30 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. But I will show you something that created. In the meantime, go to workspace. I have my DB project. And inside that, I have already a notebook which I can rename it. So I need to rename it. Okay. So the first one I will rename it as practice. Two things I'm practicing. So let's the cluster needs to be ready. See the cluster is still going on. Because without that I can do anything, right? Is it database is quite okay for you as of now? Whatever you few things we discussed, is it exciting?
Kind of exciting, kind of outside world. Some things going
Yeah.
in, some things are going out of the.
These
Now,
terminologies and all those things
that,
are making some sort of difficulty
huh.
to understand.
But it is the future for you guys. Okay? This will be the future, and this will be a good like earning sources in terms of amount in a job. If you know this, your value got changed. The normal life and the database life is that's what's it. Okay. Now here, let it come up, but I will not execute now unless this. Because to execute anything, the cluster should be ready. So here, as I told you that you can have a Python, you can have a SQL, you can have a Scala, you can have R. These are the four ways you can write the codes in right. So here normally you can write whatever the things we have, say print anything, hello. You can just run this and just select. So this is the way. And there are some magic commands also like the normal one. Suppose by default you have selected the Python, right? But in the cell itself only, you can change it to the SQL, you can change it to the Scala, everything. But before that, in the Jupyter notebook, in the top I was giving a heading, right? What is this notebook? It's all about all this. What is that cell called? Jupyter notebook.
Markdown.
So like that, here also we have the concept of mark. How to create the markdown? We need to say percentage n. MD stands for the mark. Then after that, you can write same. So this is the 2 star. All this is my course practice notebook for okay. Like that, we can write the heading. Data. It's just like heading I'm giving. Can be written on below 4 languages. Okay, so I'm saying so is Python, second is R, third is Scala, fourth is okay. So this is the way I'm saying. Now when you enter it, this one, so this is your this like a markdown. Okay, got it? You write percentage MD, like percentage MD, then whatever you've written it, it will consider this as a markdown. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Now you can insert a new cell, you can write. Now you can write any Python, but I am giving some magic commands. So something like suppose you are on your Python cells right now in Python, you want to execute something on the SQL. Okay, immediately on the cell. And in a particular notebook, this is the advantage of this notebook is that in a single notebook you can use multiple languages. Suppose one block is running on Python, one block can be written on SQL, one block can be Scala. But Python and SQL can be correlate. Scala is not out of scope for us, and R also out of scope. We are not writing, but we are more focused on the Python. And this. So suppose in the Python, suppose you want to write a I will say normally if you are not selecting anything Python, I'm saying select say hello. If I execute this, control enter or shift enter whatever means, it will throw an error because it is not able to identify select hello method because the current context is running on Python. Two choices I have. Either I can select this Python, I can select this, or on the from the universal I can select. But instead of doing that, before do that, this command I can put
Percentage SQL.
percentage. Now this context will change to SQL and you can run, and it will give you it will give the hello register. Now this context is changed to SQL. Okay, it's making sense. And you can do further. Suppose now it is SQL, you can change it to Python as well. Percentage Python, and you can start work. Okay, this is called a magic command. And another two magic commands are there, which is quite handy. We'll see in the later stage, which is called percentage fs. Then I will enter the ls list percentage fs ls. Now let's enter this, and this is works on the Python. Okay, don't use the percentage fs ls is the main command for the Python database. So it will actually show you what are the available things are available on the current database. We have a volumes, we have a data sets, all these things we have. So this one, this DBF is data sets. No? I will show you later. This data set folder comes up with the database saying that it will give you some sample data, okay? Like in the form of a sales, we will having so many things are there, like the COVID files, so many files are there that we can use for your project class, okay? Which I will show you later. Another one, this is the normal way. Another command is there that is called SS. This is on a Linux environment, Linux way of writing. Because there are two ways to write that. One is the Hadoop way. This is the percentage FSLS. This the commands are like that. Another is the percentage SH, which is on the Linux. So if you are writing on a Linux, you put the SH, and I will say LS. Sorry, PS. Same, it will give you the output, but the commands are different. It will give you the same thing, but in a different. It's PS is to use the processes. Processes. I'm just saying the process. What are the processes running on the current context, so I can get. Okay. So these are the different magic commands I have on my.
So Samir, I have a question. So
But
if I created a Python file separately,
mhm,
okay, in the PyCharm or something, I created some set of the lines of code, then I can
mhm.
upload the code into. It's possible to upload the code into the project under the
Yes.
folder under. Okay, so after that, right? How you can call that line alone? We don't want to call. Okay, just you need to execute the Python line, right? How to execute from the Databricks?
A single line, that code only.
Yeah, okay. The
Huh.
code, the file will contain some hundreds of lines. Okay. I
Uh,
want to call
uh,
that program here.
that will first we need to upload it. We need to go to the workspace. Otherwise, I'm not doing it right away, but I will say that. Don't worry.
No, right. You maybe show it later, but
Yeah.
whether that is possible in the Databricks, that's
Yeah.
question. Okay.
So
Okay.
we have a file export is in the workspace level.
Okay.
Yeah, we can copy, we can so many things we can do. I'll show you. There is an import export also there.
Okay. Got it.
Current file. So here is an option. Now on this particular folder, you can import and you can export. So I will show you in the next class that if you are exporting in DBC in a source file and HTML, what will happen? You can import that file. So whatever file you have, that file also you can upload and you can work on that. But I don't think so. The PyCharm, the PY format will work. That I need to cross check, but the IPYNB, the Jupyter file will work 100%. Or
Jupyter file
you
will
can
work.
Jupyter file will work because that's the way it is there. If you see here, the file which I've created here to practice, it is more of a IPYNB. But it's not like that time it is not uploading. You can copy paste the code and directly work. That also will work, right? Just copy and
Yeah, that
paste.
also.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, I think I'm done for today.